Giannis to the Lakers? The truth about the rumors, stay until the end to find out everything. But before starting the video, leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any important news about the Lakers. The atmosphere in Los Angeles was electric. After the recent blockbuster acquisition of Luka Dončić, Lakers fans were still processing the shock when a new name suddenly dominated conversations. Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Milwaukee Bucks superstar, two-time MVP and NBA champion, became the center of swirling rumors connecting him to the Lakers. Whispers that at first seemed like nothing more than wishful thinking. But like every rumor, it started somewhere. It all began during a post-game interview after yet another disappointing playoff exit for Milwaukee. With a serious tone, Giannis said words that ignited the basketball world. "The most important thing for me is winning. It doesn't matter where. I just want to be in a place where I have a real chance to win more championships." From that moment on, all eyes turned to Los Angeles. After all, if there is one franchise known for building super teams and attracting global superstars, it's the Lakers. With LeBron James nearing the end of his career and Luka Dončić freshly arrived, the possibility of adding Giannis felt both crazy and somehow possible. Behind the scenes, conversations started heating up. Giannis had never been the kind of player to force his way out of a team. His career had been defined by loyalty and commitment. But the last few seasons, filled with frustrating playoff failures, started to challenge that mindset. For the first time, he seemed open to listening, open to exploring new paths, and Los Angeles stood out as the most glamorous and tempting destination. However, Giannis is not someone who joins a team just for the spotlight. People close to him began revealing that if he were to consider joining the Lakers, there were three clear, non-negotiable demands. A championship-ready roster from day one. Giannis has no interest in rebuilding projects. He wants a core that's already prepared to fight for a title immediately. A coaching staff fully committed to defense and player development. He values coaches who prioritize not just winning games but also developing players and maintaining strong team chemistry. A front office that shares his championship mindset. Giannis seeks the assurance that the Lakers organization is serious about contending every year, not just making flashy moves for attention. Once these details surfaced, the rumors exploded. Lakers fans began imagining a dream trio: LeBron, Luka, and Giannis. Social media was flooded with edits, hypothetical lineups, trade scenarios, and heated debates. Could it really be possible to add yet another superstar to one of the most star-studded franchises in sports history? Meanwhile, basketball insiders and analysts weighed in with caution. Despite the Lakers' status as a global brand, the reality was that they didn't possess a treasure chest of assets to easily pull off a trade of this magnitude. It would require significant sacrifices, young talents, future draft picks, and possibly key players from the current roster. Still, one thing was undeniable: the spark had been lit. And in the unpredictable world of the NBA, when that fire starts to burn, anything can happen. As the rumors surrounding Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Lakers grew louder in the public eye, something much quieter but equally important was happening behind the scenes. The Lakers front office, known for its ability to pull off unexpected blockbuster deals, had started laying the groundwork. While fans debated and speculated, calls were being made and private meetings were being held. The first step for the Lakers was assessing what assets they actually had that could attract Milwaukee's interest. The reality was harsh. Their roster, while talented, wasn't stacked with young rising stars or high-value draft picks. Recent moves, like bringing in Luka Dončić, had already drained some of their trade capital. Still, the Lakers had something almost no other franchise could offer: the allure of Los Angeles, the global power of the Lakers brand, and the chance to play alongside Luka and LeBron. Internally, the discussions were intense. The front office had to ask themselves difficult questions. How much were they willing to sacrifice to bring in Giannis? Would it mean letting go of key role players like Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, or even parting ways with a cornerstone like Anthony Davis? Each option came with risks. Not just basketball risks but also chemistry, financial, and long-term stability concerns. At the same time, the Lakers quietly reached out to people close to Giannis. Not official conversations that would violate tampering rules, but subtle check-ins through mutual friends, agents, and connections in the NBA community. The message was clear: if you ever want a new home, we're ready. On Giannis's side, there were signals. While he remained publicly committed to Milwaukee, his body language had shifted. His usual joy seemed replaced with frustration, his smiles less frequent, his tone more serious. Sources indicated that Giannis was starting to feel the weight of carrying a franchise without the consistent support needed to chase championships year after year. Milwaukee's front office, fully aware of the storm brewing, wasn't sitting idle either. They scrambled to reassure Giannis, making promises of future trades and improvements. But the clock was ticking. The NBA is a brutal business. Loyalty lasts only as long as winning does. And Milwaukee's inability to build a consistent contender was now threatening the relationship that had once seemed unbreakable. Meanwhile, the Lakers were strategically reshaping their roster flexibility. Minor trades were being discussed. Players with expiring contracts suddenly became valuable, not because they contributed heavily on the court, but because their contracts could be pieces in a potential blockbuster deal. The goal was simple but ambitious: clear enough cap space, accumulate assets, and prepare for the moment Giannis either officially requests a trade or becomes a free agent. Publicly, the organization remained quiet. No statements, no leaks, just silence. But inside, the wheels were turning at full speed. The fans, of course, had no idea how close or how far this dream was from becoming reality. Every leaked photo of Giannis visiting Los Angeles, every friendly conversation between him and Lakers players at off-season events, every cryptic Instagram post, all became fuel for the fire. One thing was certain: whether it happened this off-season, next year, or further down the line, the idea of Giannis wearing purple and gold was no longer just fantasy. It was a real possibility, and both sides knew it. As whispers of Giannis Antetokounmpo potentially joining the Lakers grew louder, the entire NBA ecosystem started to react. A move of this magnitude doesn't just affect one or two teams, it sends shockwaves throughout the league. Front offices from coast to coast began reassessing their own strategies, preparing for what could become one of the most significant shifts in recent NBA history. Other contenders immediately grew nervous. Teams like the Denver Nuggets, Boston Celtics, and Phoenix Suns understood the gravity of what was unfolding. If the Lakers successfully paired Giannis with Luka Dončić and LeBron James, the balance of power in the NBA would shift dramatically. Overnight, the Lakers would become not just title favorites, but potentially an unstoppable dynasty. Agents and players around the league also started paying attention. Superstars, role players, and even veterans approaching the end of their careers saw opportunity. Playing alongside Giannis in Los Angeles was not just about winning, it was about being part of something historic. Quietly, some players began instructing their agents to monitor the situation closely. If the deal happened, they wanted in. Meanwhile, small market teams watched with frustration and fear. Once again, the narrative of a superstar potentially leaving a smaller franchise for the bright lights of a big city triggered debates about parity, fairness, and the challenges smaller markets face in retaining generational talents. For Milwaukee fans, the thought of losing Giannis, a player who had embraced the city, brought them a championship, and stayed loyal against all odds, felt like heartbreak before it even happened. Inside the Lakers organization, the sense of urgency grew. They knew that if word leaked that Giannis was open to leaving, other teams would flood Milwaukee with offers. Miami, Golden State, New York, and Dallas all had assets, and some had the cap space and flexibility that the Lakers lacked. The front office had to move smartly, quietly, and quickly. To make matters even more complex, there was LeBron James. Now approaching 40, LeBron was still an incredible player but also nearing the twilight of his career. Would he be part of the package to acquire Giannis? Or would the Lakers prioritize keeping LeBron to mentor and play alongside Giannis and Luka for a final title run? The dynamic was delicate. LeBron, despite his age, remained the face of the franchise and had significant influence over its decisions. Then there was Luka Dončić. Newly arrived, younger, and a generational talent in his own right, Luka represented the future. His presence made the Lakers an even more appealing destination for Giannis. Together, Luka and Giannis could form one of the most dominant duos the league had ever seen, a terrifying combination of size, speed, IQ, and scoring power. The media frenzy exploded. Talk shows debated endlessly. Former players, analysts, and insiders speculated on the possible trade packages. Social media was on fire, with hashtags like #GiannisToLakers trending globally. Fans created jersey mock-ups, fantasy lineups, and even simulated games on video game platforms to imagine what this super team would look like. At the same time, Milwaukee was placed under immense pressure. If they refused to engage in talks and Giannis walked away as a free agent later, they would lose him for nothing. But if they traded him now, it meant accepting that their championship window was closed, at least for the foreseeable future. The NBA had seen superstars move before. LeBron to Miami, Durant to Golden State, Kawhi to the Clippers. But this felt different. This wasn't just a superstar moving. It was the possible formation of a trio that could redefine dominance in modern basketball. In the midst of the chaos, one thing became undeniable. Whether the trade happened or not, the mere possibility of Giannis joining the Lakers had already changed the landscape of the NBA forever. While the NBA world spun with speculation, one person found himself caught in the eye of the storm: Giannis Antetokounmpo. Known for his humility, dedication, and unwavering commitment to the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis now faced the most difficult decision of his career, one that would not only define his future but potentially reshape his entire legacy. For years, Giannis prided himself on loyalty. He wasn't just a superstar. He was the face of Milwaukee, the embodiment of everything a small market team dreams of. He led the Bucks to their first NBA championship in 50 years, fulfilling a promise to the city and to himself. He always spoke about the importance of staying where he was appreciated and building something special rather than chasing titles elsewhere. But something had changed. The past few seasons had been frustrating. Early playoff exits, roster inconsistencies, and failed attempts at bringing in complementary pieces began to weigh heavily on him. Giannis wasn't just thinking about the present anymore, he was thinking about the future. How many prime years did he have left? How long could he carry the weight of an entire franchise without the right support? Privately, Giannis began reflecting on the careers of other legends. He thought about players who stayed loyal but never won again. He thought about those who left, joined stronger teams, and secured multiple championships, ultimately cementing their legacies among the greatest to ever play the game. There was no question that Giannis still loved Milwaukee. The fans adored him. The city embraced his family as their own. But love wasn't enough anymore. Winning mattered. Legacy mattered. And if the Bucks couldn't surround him with the pieces needed to chase more championships, was it fair to himself to stay? At the same time, the idea of joining the Lakers grew more enticing. Playing under the bright lights of Los Angeles wasn't just about fame, it was about opportunity. An opportunity to play alongside Luka Dončić, one of the most gifted offensive players of his generation, and LeBron James, whose leadership and basketball IQ were unmatched. Giannis envisioned it: the pick and rolls with Luka, the fast breaks with LeBron, the sheer dominance on both ends of the floor. The possibilities were endless. The Lakers had a history of winning, a culture of greatness, and the resources to keep reloading year after year. But this wasn't an easy choice. Giannis wasn't wired like some other superstars. The thought of walking away from a city that watched him grow from a skinny teenager into an MVP, a finals MVP, and a champion weighed heavily on him. His family, always central to his decision-making, also had mixed feelings. While the idea of life in Los Angeles sounded exciting, better weather, larger markets, more opportunities off the court, they also felt deep gratitude for what Milwaukee had provided. It wasn't just Giannis who had found a home in the city, his entire family had. Night after night, Giannis wrestled with the decision. He spoke with his brothers. He spoke with trusted mentors. He thought about his children, his future, and how history would remember him. Was staying in Milwaukee the ultimate display of loyalty and character? Or was moving to Los Angeles, joining a super team, and chasing more rings the path toward greatness that could never be questioned? The pressure grew. Every game, every media appearance, every subtle glance or offhand comment was dissected for meaning. In the end, Giannis knew one thing for certain. No matter which path he chose, it would change everything. For him, for Milwaukee, for the Lakers, and for the NBA. Inside the Lakers front office, the mood was electric but tense. The possibility of acquiring Giannis Antetokounmpo wasn't just an opportunity, it was the kind of moment that could define the next decade of the franchise. The stakes were massive. The reward even bigger. Rob Pelinka, the Lakers' general manager, along with his team of strategists, analysts, and financial experts, worked tirelessly behind closed doors. Every option was on the table. The mission was clear: figure out how to make the impossible possible. The first challenge was salary cap logistics. Giannis wasn't a free agent, at least not yet. Trading for a superstar of his caliber meant matching his massive contract, and the Lakers didn't have that kind of flexibility lying around. It required precision. Every dollar, every player contract, every draft pick became part of a complex chessboard. The discussions were relentless. They mapped out multiple scenarios on the whiteboards lining their conference rooms. Scenario A: package young talent like Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and Max Christie, along with multiple first-round picks. Scenario B: include a star-level player like Anthony Davis in a direct swap, pairing Giannis with Luka and LeBron. Scenario C: explore multi-team deals that could send assets to other franchises in exchange for cap relief or draft compensation to sweeten the offer for Milwaukee. But it wasn't just about numbers. It was about relationships. The Lakers began activating their network across the league. Quiet phone calls to agents, back-channel discussions with other teams, and feelers sent to the Bucks front office. These weren't formal trade talks, not yet, but everyone knew what was happening. The Lakers also had to consider timing. If Giannis made it clear to Milwaukee that he wasn't signing an extension, the Bucks would be forced into action. Waiting could lead to disaster for Milwaukee, losing Giannis for nothing. This gave the Lakers leverage, but only if Giannis was truly ready to push for an exit. Meanwhile, ownership, led by Jeanie Buss, weighed in. For the Buss family, the Lakers aren't just a business. They are a legacy. Bringing Giannis to Los Angeles wasn't merely about winning. It was about continuing the tradition of having the biggest stars wear the purple and gold. But they also understood the risk. Gutting the team's depth for one superstar, even one as great as Giannis, could backfire. Depth wins championships as much as talent. The question became, how do you balance star power with a sustainable roster? In parallel, conversations were held with LeBron James and Luka Dončić. Both were fully aware of the potential move. LeBron, entering the twilight of his career, gave his blessing. He knew what Giannis could bring and welcomed the chance to finish his legendary career alongside two generational talents. Luka was excited. He had carried heavy burdens in Dallas and more recently in his early tenure with the Lakers. The idea of sharing the floor with Giannis was thrilling. A partner in crime who could match his competitive fire, his IQ, and his hunger for winning. As the weeks passed, momentum quietly built. Minor trades, waived contracts, and subtle roster adjustments began to signal that the Lakers were preparing for something big. The media hadn't fully caught on yet, but insiders knew the Lakers weren't just dreaming. They were preparing. Still, nothing was guaranteed. Milwaukee could choose to hold the line, to try one more time to convince Giannis to stay. Or worse for the Lakers, another team could swoop in with a better offer. But one thing was clear in the war room at Crypto.com Arena. If Giannis was truly ready to move, the Lakers would stop at nothing to bring him to Los Angeles. As rumors about Giannis Antetokounmpo joining the Lakers grew louder, the reaction from fans and media became overwhelming. Social media platforms exploded with discussions, debates, and speculation, as supporters and skeptics weighed in on what would be one of the biggest moves in NBA history. Lakers fans, hungry for a championship and star power, quickly embraced the idea. They imagined the excitement of seeing LeBron James, Luka Dončić, and Giannis on the same court, a trio that could dominate offensively and defensively. Online forums filled with photoshopped jerseys, hypothetical lineups, and highlights showcasing each player's best moments. Meanwhile, Bucks fans experienced a roller coaster of emotions. The thought of losing their franchise player and hometown hero was devastating. Many took to social media to express disbelief, anger, and sadness, while others pleaded for the team to do everything possible to keep Giannis in Milwaukee. Sports commentators and analysts fueled the frenzy. Pundits debated whether such a trade was even feasible and discussed the potential trade packages that could be involved. Some questioned if the Lakers would risk dismantling their current roster, while others highlighted the historic significance of such a deal. The media coverage wasn't limited to traditional outlets. Influencers, podcasters, and YouTube personalities jumped on the story, producing endless content that kept the rumor alive 24/7. The buzz reached beyond basketball circles, capturing the attention of general sports fans worldwide. Off the court, this media storm added pressure on everyone involved, from Giannis and the Bucks front office to the Lakers management and players. Every statement, tweet, and interview was analyzed for hidden meanings. LeBron's comments about loyalty, Luka's quiet optimism, and Giannis's occasional cryptic remarks all became topics of intense scrutiny. Amid this frenzy, some voices called for patience and caution, reminding fans that rumors often exaggerate realities and that no deal is official until paperwork is signed. Yet the excitement was undeniable, as the prospect of a new Lakers super team captured imaginations everywhere. This chapter of the saga made clear one truth: whether the trade happens or not, the buzz alone transformed the NBA landscape, intensifying rivalries, shifting fan loyalties, and setting the stage for a dramatic offseason. As the potential trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo loomed, attention turned to how his arrival would affect the Lakers' internal chemistry and dynamics. Integrating a superstar of Giannis' caliber into an already talented roster posed challenges beyond contracts and trade logistics. Basketball, after all, is as much about relationships and roles as it is about skills. LeBron James, the Lakers' elder statesman, had long been the team's leader on and off the court. Known for his basketball IQ and mentorship, LeBron's role would inevitably shift with Giannis joining the squad. While LeBron welcomed the idea of a younger superstar sharing the spotlight, he was also mindful of maintaining team harmony. Luka Dončić, the team's rising star, faced the prospect of adapting his game to accommodate Giannis. Luka thrived with the ball in his hands, orchestrating plays and creating scoring opportunities. Giannis, known for his versatility and dominance both inside and out, would require some adjustments in offensive schemes and defensive assignments. The coaching staff had to start planning for new rotations, strategies, and lineups that could maximize the talents of all three stars without sacrificing team balance. Defensive schemes would need to leverage Giannis' length and athleticism, while offensive plays would be designed to allow Luka and LeBron to flourish alongside him. Role players like Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and others faced uncertainty. Their minutes and responsibilities might shrink, or their roles might be altered significantly. Yet, such changes are common when superstar acquisitions occur, and many veterans accepted this as part of the business. The Lakers' locker room culture, known for blending veteran leadership with youthful energy, would be tested. Building trust between the new star trio and the supporting cast would be essential. Team chemistry is fragile, and even the most talented squads can falter if egos clash or communication breaks down. From a mental standpoint, the pressure to win immediately would skyrocket. Expectations from fans, media, and ownership would leave no room for slow starts or growing pains. Giannis would not only be asked to perform but also to lead a team hungry for championships. Despite the challenges, the potential rewards were enormous. The trio of LeBron, Luka, and Giannis could redefine the league, setting new standards for excellence and teamwork. If they succeeded, the Lakers could enter a new era of dominance. In this pivotal moment, all eyes were on the Lakers to see how they would manage the delicate balance of talent, egos, and expectations that come with a potential super team. Acquiring a superstar like Giannis Antetokounmpo is not only a basketball challenge but a complex financial puzzle. The Lakers' front office faced the daunting task of navigating the salary cap, luxury tax implications, and contract structures that could make or break the deal. Giannis is under a substantial contract with the Milwaukee Bucks, one of the largest in the league. To fit his salary onto their books, the Lakers would have to clear significant cap space or include players with matching salaries in a trade. This meant difficult decisions about who to keep, who to trade, and how to structure contracts for maximum flexibility. Luxury tax considerations added another layer of complexity. The Lakers are a franchise familiar with paying the tax to build championship contenders, but the cost of adding Giannis could push them into unprecedented financial territory. Ownership had to weigh the benefits of a super team against the financial penalties and long-term sustainability. Contract lengths and player options also played a critical role. The Lakers needed to understand how long Giannis would commit to the team and what leverage he might have in future negotiations. Would Giannis sign a supermax extension with the Lakers, or was he considering short-term deals with flexibility to reevaluate? Moreover, there were concerns about how acquiring Giannis might affect other players' contracts and morale. Anthony Davis, a critical piece of the team, had a significant contract and health considerations. Would the Lakers be willing to trade or renegotiate his contract to facilitate the Giannis deal? The front office also evaluated the impact on future draft picks. Trading away multiple first-round picks could compromise the Lakers' ability to build depth and youth for the long term. Striking a balance between immediate success and sustainable growth became a central theme in the decision-making process. Financial advisors, cap specialists, and legal teams were all deeply involved in mapping out the trade scenarios. Every dollar and clause was scrutinized to avoid unforeseen pitfalls. Ultimately, the Lakers' willingness to navigate this financial maze demonstrated their commitment to winning now, understanding that assembling a trio like LeBron, Luka, and Giannis came at a significant cost, both on and off the court. As the offseason progressed, the NBA world waited with bated breath to see whether the Lakers would finalize the monumental deal for Giannis Antetokounmpo. The potential arrival of one of basketball's greatest talents promised to reshape not only the Lakers' future but the entire league's competitive landscape. The Lakers continued to build around their stars, making calculated moves to balance depth and experience. Front office executives remained in contact with Milwaukee, gauging their willingness to negotiate and testing the waters for creative trade options. Behind the scenes, the pressure mounted on every stakeholder to deliver clarity and direction. For Giannis, the choice remained deeply personal and complex. Loyalty to Milwaukee, the bond with fans and teammates, and the chance to build a lasting legacy there all competed with the allure of joining a superstar trio in Los Angeles and chasing multiple championships before his prime years waned. LeBron James, the franchise's iconic leader, continued to mentor younger players while publicly endorsing the idea of welcoming Giannis. His influence within the organization and beyond proved crucial in maintaining stability during this uncertain period. Luka Dončić's role as a rising star and key piece of the Lakers' future also solidified. The synergy between Luka and Giannis, should the trade occur, was anticipated to be one of the most electrifying in league history, blending skill, athleticism, and basketball IQ. The media and fans remained captivated, eagerly awaiting official announcements but also wary of the volatility such high-profile negotiations bring. Speculation, rumors, and what-if scenarios continued to dominate headlines and conversations worldwide. Regardless of the outcome, the story of Giannis and the Lakers underscored the modern NBA's complex interplay of loyalty, ambition, business, and legacy. It was a reminder that superstars face difficult choices, and franchises must adapt quickly in a hyper-competitive environment. As the next season approached, the question lingered: would Giannis Antetokounmpo wear the purple and gold, joining forces with LeBron and Luka to chase NBA glory? Or would he remain the heart of Milwaukee, continuing his quest to bring more titles to the Bucks? Whatever path was chosen, one thing was certain: the future of the NBA had entered a thrilling new chapter, full of promise, drama, and unforgettable moments. The basketball world stood still as the day of Giannis Antetokounmpo's decision finally arrived. Months of speculation, negotiations, and anticipation culminated in a moment that would send shockwaves across the NBA. Giannis, aware of the immense pressure from fans, media, and franchises alike, approached the decision with the gravity it deserved. After countless discussions with family, coaches, teammates, and trusted advisors, he was ready to announce the path he would take. When the official statement came, the NBA universe reacted instantly. If Giannis chose to join the Lakers, it would mark a historic superteam era in Los Angeles. The trio of LeBron James, Luka Dončić, and Giannis would instantly become the league's most formidable force. Expectations would skyrocket, and the Lakers would be seen as the favorite to dominate for years to come. However, this decision would leave Milwaukee reeling. The Bucks would have to regroup, rebuild, and find new ways to compete without their franchise cornerstone. The ripple effect of losing Giannis would impact team strategies, fan morale, and the entire Eastern Conference's balance of power. Alternatively, if Giannis decided to stay loyal to Milwaukee, it would reaffirm his commitment to the city and its fans. The Bucks would continue to build around him, making strategic roster moves to maximize their championship window. This choice would underscore the importance of loyalty in a league where player movement is increasingly common. Giannis' decision also influenced the careers of other stars. LeBron would adjust his final season's plans based on whether he would share the court with Giannis or not. Luka's development and role would be shaped by the presence or absence of the Greek freak. Beyond the immediate basketball implications, Giannis' choice resonated on a personal level. It was a testament to the complex human emotions behind professional sports, balancing ambition, loyalty, family, and legacy. As the NBA community digested the news, one truth remained. Giannis Antetokounmpo's decision wasn't just about basketball, it was about shaping the future of the game itself. Following Giannis Antetokounmpo's monumental decision, the Lakers found themselves at a crossroads that would shape their franchise's trajectory for years to come. Whether Giannis had chosen to join them or remain in Milwaukee, the organization had to prepare for the future, embracing new challenges and opportunities. If Giannis had committed to the Lakers, the team immediately shifted focus to integrating the new superstar. Coaches and trainers began crafting personalized development plans to ensure Giannis could maximize his impact while minimizing injury risks. The front office worked on finalizing contracts and solidifying the roster around the star trio, ensuring depth and versatility. Marketing and fan engagement efforts skyrocketed. Merchandise flew off the shelves, and ticket sales surged as fans eagerly anticipated the new powerhouse on the court. The Lakers brand, already global, expanded its reach exponentially with Giannis' presence, bringing renewed energy and enthusiasm. Alternatively, if Giannis remained in Milwaukee, the Lakers doubled down on their existing core. They looked to Luka Dončić and LeBron James to lead the charge while exploring trades, free agency, and drafts to strengthen the roster. The front office strategized ways to return to championship contention, focusing on chemistry and sustainable growth. In either scenario, the Lakers' commitment to winning was unwavering. Player development programs intensified, with younger talents like Austin Reeves gaining more responsibility and opportunities to grow. The coaching staff emphasized adaptability, preparing to adjust tactics based on evolving player strengths. LeBron James, a central figure regardless of Giannis' choice, continued mentoring teammates while managing his physical condition to remain effective at an elite level. His leadership helped maintain focus and unity during a time of transition. Community involvement and outreach also played a role. The Lakers expanded efforts to connect with fans in Los Angeles and beyond, reinforcing their identity as not just a basketball team but a cultural institution. As training camps approached, anticipation mixed with determination filled the air. The Lakers were ready to face the new season with resilience and ambition, fueled by the lessons and decisions of the offseason. The NBA landscape continued to evolve rapidly, but one constant remained: the Lakers' pursuit of greatness, driven by a legacy of excellence and an unrelenting desire to win championships.